Let's see if this thing will even start. Well, I got kind of an unfortunate topic today. One that I don't really feel like talking about, but I think it's something I should talk about. Because as usual, I only talk about things that are on my mind, that I'm thinking about, and that's kind of what makes my content what it is, right? Okay, let me get this started. Last week my friend Jason was killed on his motorcycle. Wouldn't say I was best friends with Jason, but I wouldn't say I was hardly friends with him. I was at his wedding and he was at my wedding. In fact, I saw him at my wedding almost exactly a year ago. And we were talking about 650Ls. Because the reason I bought this motorcycle was because I liked his. I was riding sport bikes and he had gotten one of these, and I had been thinking about maybe doing a dual sport in the future, and I thought his looked cool. He was probably the person actually that introduced me to what these were, because up until that point I hadn't done any research in dual sports at all. But I have no idea what the details of his accident were. All I know is that he survived about a week after his accident due to head trauma and other injuries. He passed away. And I haven't ridden this bike in a while. I don't think I've ridden this bike since I went camping last. I haven't had to ride it to work because I've had a car. I just have been letting it sit, and then after that happened I thought, holy shit, how am I ever going to ride that bike again without thinking of him? The guy was 28 years old. His wife was 28 years old. Can you imagine that? Those two had been together since they were 16 years old. I really wish I knew the details of his accident so I could kind of work that into this, but I don't know, man. Anyway, before I get off of Jason, his family has a GoFundMe page. They have a $10,000 goal, which they've met, but fuck the goal. It doesn't matter. I want to ask people to contribute, because I have exposure to an audience here, and I mean, I've asked for money before for myself to fund the videos I'm making here, but this is way more important. The link is in the description. You can find it. So please go take a look at it, and if you're willing, give the family some money, please. Fuck, I gotta stop talking about this. I'm gonna fucking freak out. So anyway, what I want to talk about today was just kind of some of the things I do that I believe keep me safer on the road. I don't know where I am. You can't really account for random chance. If a car is going to run you down, then a car is going to run you down. But I believe that there's a number of variables when you're on the road, and it's possible to minimize your exposure to those variables. Obviously, the main variable is traffic, and it's not because all drivers are stupid. It's hardly ever the case. It's just because there's too many of the drivers and there's too little of you, and you have to expect them not to see you. And the riders that expect cars to see them are douchebags, man. I hate to say it, but if you're one of those guys that rides around and flicks off drivers because they didn't see you racing up on their left side or something, like, you're the piece of shit, okay? Because when you're operating a car, It is not easy to see a motorcycle, especially if that motorcycle is speeding or going really any speed different than traffic. Additionally, if you're in somebody's blind spot and you're not aware of it, you could get killed. Like that's a fact. So when you're on the road and you're in traffic, those are two things that are really important to think about. Whenever I'm in traffic, I mean, it's sometimes you get carried away and you want to speed. I know, I get it. We all do that. But I kind of have a rule where I only go 5 miles an hour faster than the flow of traffic, no matter what. Because if you're exceeding that, people don't expect you. And so in addition to that, you want to make sure you're never in someone's blind spot. Every time you're next to a car, you want to make sure if they move, they wouldn't hit you. Basically, you literally have to ride like no one can see you. And it's easy to forget to do that when you're lost in thought or you're just having a good time riding and you're riding around corners and you're not in it, you know. But it's one of the things I always try to do is take account of what cars are around me and just assume they can't see me. But the ultimate solution is to avoid traffic altogether, which is what I'm doing right now. I'm driving down a residential street doing 35 miles an hour so I can talk, and nobody's going to hit me. It's a 2-lane road. There's no one behind me. There's no one in front of me. It doesn't matter. I'm not endangering myself. I'm distracting myself by talking, and I'm minimizing my danger on the road by not doing this in traffic. You know, I don't have to concentrate on anything right now. I can sit here and I can talk. And that's the reason why you see me going slow. Partially because low speeds allow my voice to come through better on the mic. But it's also for safety reasons because I just don't have to worry about stuff. Let's go this way. So that's the first variable, traffic and other people, because at any given time you're surrounded by hundreds of cars and you just really can't account for what any of them are going to decide to do. The other variable is weather. You have things like wind and rain. You have things like the sun that could block your vision. I don't know where I'm going, so it's hard to find roads that are appropriate for this. So yeah, the weather is an obvious one. You know, you're not gonna go out in the rain and not think you're at risk. You're gonna pay attention to your shit. You're probably gonna ride like a baby. But that's in my opinion, that's variable number 2. And sometimes the wind can catch you off guard, and it just becomes a risk, and you might feel overconfident. But you just gotta think about it. But the third variable is you. It's the rider. You as the rider, it's like it comes down to your skills, right? Because like we all started somewhere. We were all beginners at one point, and then we got better at riding because we challenged ourselves, or we started to understand the systems that are going on when you're riding. It all becomes muscle memory. You get better. But if you're a shitty rider, you got to be honest with yourself. You know, you got to look at yourself and say, I'm a shitty rider. I'm not going to go that fast. I'm not going to take that corner that hard because I know I'm going to understeer and I'm going to go off of a fucking cliff. You need to be careful. You need to honestly assess your own skills, because I mean, I think we've all met somebody who like thinks they're the shit or is just way overconfident. You ever met someone that's just overconfident and makes you uncomfortable? But that's one of them. But that's one of them. And you know, I'm not the best rider in the world, and people tell me that sometimes on here, and I know that. And I'm not really improving off-road. I mean, I gain a little confidence here and there, but the reason I'm not improving is because I don't take risks. You know, when I'm off-road, I'm alone, right? Which saves me from the variables that I find on the pavement. I'm facing problems within myself, right? Like, how hard do I go? You know, do I try to ride up that hill that scares me? You know, it's 110 degrees outside. I shouldn't be climbing a mountain and dropping my bike by myself, right? Now, you could say that's irresponsible, and I would agree with you, and that's why I don't do that. At least not anymore. But I mean, it seems like some people kind of think that 650L riders should be jumping through the air and doing all kinds of stunts or something, racing their bikes. Like, I'm not that good, and I'm never going to be that good. I'm never going to go out and push it. I'm not going to go out and hit hills that are going to send me into the air because I don't want to get hurt when I'm outside cell phone range, which happens all the time. Half the places I go camping, I don't have cell reception. So, just something to think about. Honestly, it's something I can't stop thinking about. You know, and I'll let you know a secret. I don't ride this bike unless I'm filming. I used to ride it a lot. You know, I'd go out, and when I first moved out here, I didn't have a car because I was working from home, so whenever I went anywhere, it was recreationally, you know. So sometimes I go out for a ride and I wouldn't film, and then I'd film on the weekends or something. But now it's like I go to work every day. I don't come home and ride. Like, the only time I ride is on a weekend, and if I do that, I'm filming. So like, everything that you see like on camera, that's all I'm doing. That's all the experience I'm getting, and those are the only places I'm going, and it's the only stuff I'm experiencing. I'm not riding with people or friends. I don't have time. But anyway, if you're up for it, go check out the GoFundMe for Jason and give his family some money. They're fantastic people. I can't, like, his wife is possibly the most powerful woman I've ever met. Just the confidence that girl brings into a room is something else. And I really hope she doesn't lose it. Anyway, I'm going to go home and eat chicken because I'm hungry. And I'm going to try to put myself in a good mood now. Oh yeah, I got some video editing to do tonight, so there's that. Haven't decided if I'm going to edit this one or a different one.